things adventure, where we talk about motorcycles, mountain bikes, gravel bikes, camping, really anything you can do to get outside and get out in the woods. So we're going to be discussing one of the accessories I put on my Honda 450 RL. It's the Adventure Spec Mini Fairing. I'm going to go over some of the pros and cons of this thing and show a video of this thing snapping in half on my Northeast BDR last year. Overall, it's a good product, does what it needed to do. Could use a little more support, but we're going to dive in and kind of go over the pros and cons of that. Alright, so here it is. This is my 2021 Honda 450 RL. And here is the Adventure Spec Mini Fairing. You've got a bracket over here. It has two bolts that bolt into your top fork tower. Right, little bar that comes over and attaches to the plate. And then this thick piece of plastic. Right, kind of blocking the GPS. Supposed to give you, I guess, a little bit of wind protection. Right, and same thing on the other side. And as you can see on this side, no longer black. That's because this is where it snapped off when I was riding a Northeast BDR. Ended up having to find a local welder. He was able to put it back together for me. Been holding on ever since. So starting off with the good things about this, right? It gives you a nice place to mount your GPS. Not a whole lot of options unless you want it on your handlebar on this 450. And right, this puts it up nice and high, makes it right in line of sight. Very easy to follow your tracks while you're riding, whether you're standing or sitting. Also gives you a couple other options to add other switches. I haven't utilized those, right? Using the Tusk switch plate here that I mounted to the handlebars. Gives me my power outlet and switch for my heated seat. Now on the negative side of this thing, right, it vibrates a lot. It shakes. There's not a whole lot of support on the top end of this thing. So as you're going along, it just bounces and it causes your GPS just to shake while you're going down the road, whether you're on the road or trail. In my opinion, it needs a couple little bars that come from the top of your handlebar out to the top of this to reduce some of that vibration. Like I said, overall, I think it's a good product. It gives you a place to mount your GPS, which for me was really all I was looking for out of it. If you're looking for wind protection, I don't think it does very much at all. Of course, I'm 6'2", so it would have to be a pretty high windscreen in order to cover me, kind of like I have on my Africa Twin. So for wind protection, kind of useless. However, for a GPS mount, it works great. And it also, the little piece of plastic, it may not provide you wind protection, but it does provide a little bit of coverage for your GPS, so you don't have rain and stuff getting right into the back of it. Alright, so that's it. That's the Adventure Spec Mini Fairing for the Honda 450 RL. Like I said, could be improved a little bit, but overall, for what it does, it's a good product. And if you're curious, here's a quick clip of that thing snapping off while I was riding on the Northeast. I will say I did have a small 5-liter giant blue bag tied off to the front of it. The bag only had a tube and a couple of tire irons in it, so nothing crazy, no real weight, but I guess enough to allow it to vibrate enough to snap off. So running a Honda 450 RL, Northeast BDR, climbing up this little rocky hill. See my GPS mount just start flopping all around. Paused the bike and noticed my weld for the Adventure Spec brace just snapped off. But luckily I was able to find a welding shop nearby and got it fab back up and continued the ride. Thanks for signing in. Hope you found this information useful. And if you're interested in seeing more content like that, hit subscribe and there'll be more content coming regarding the 450 RL that I have with all the accessories I've mounted to it and any accessories to come. My 2018 Africa Twin that I have outfitted, and anything regarding mountain bikes, hiking, anything adventure.